Libra. I'm Ronique and welcome to Scorpio Soul Time. I hope you all are doing well. Welcome to your April 2025 monthly tarot reading. This is where we're going to look at the astrological energies of the month of April. March was a big month, Libra, as we had eclipse season. We also had Mercury and Venus both retrograding. This month, thankfully, they will go direct, so that will bring us lots of forward momentum. Eclipse season is now over. We had Neptune move into the sign of Aries right at the end of March. So April brings a lot of fresh energy. So I'm looking forward to that. Mars enters Leo and Venus will enter Aries. So let's get right into it, Libra. Check the description box below for all of the important highlighted astrological dates. If you haven't already taken a look at those mid-March to April career tarot readings, I will leave the link below. All right, Libra, let's see what Spirit has for you. Let's get all the cards first. 8 of Pentacles. Wheel of Fortune. Judgment card in reverse. 2 major arcana so far, Libra. And the Hermit card. We continue the major arcana party in reverse. 4 of Cups in reverse. 5 of Pentacles also in reverse. And we end April with the King of Swords also in reverse. And the 3 of Swords also in reverse. Now I will say, when I was turning over the deck, I do see this Ace of Pentacles. I'm actually going to take that out because I do think that you have some really interesting money conversations, work conversations going on. So let's leave that out. All right, let's go ahead and ask Spirit to send you a card representing the energy that possibly you were dealing with back in March. Spirit, if you can send my Libras a card representing the energy that they do bring into the month of April. And you have the 8 of Swords in the reverse. So I think this depiction of the 8 of Swords is so profound because you can see this woman with the swords on her back, but it's as if she is like looking at herself in a reflection and saying, you know what, I know you don't know which way to go, but I am going to help you. Like her inner self doesn't know which way to go. And I do think with that in reverse is a powerful symbol for you all, Libra, that as we come into the month of April, really pay attention to your intuition and really figure out when you came out of March, did you feel comfortable in where you were at, comfortable in your own skin? Or is there this side of you that you're wishing you could understand, like where you are stuck, or figuring out what it is you can do to make yourself feel unstuck? Now, with it in reverse, I do think many of you all are coming out of this feeling. And I also say that because I do think that this first few weeks of April with that 8 of Pentacles, Wheel of Fortune, really looks positive. So let's go ahead and ask Spirit for a card, Oracle message card. Spirit, if you can send my Librans a Oracle message for the month of April. Thank you, Spirit. And you have patience and planning. So for many of you all, this could be a month where you are having to really figure out what it is that you have been planning for a while, but sitting with it and being patient. I do think that there's a lot of moving parts that were happening back in March for you. I think some of you were possibly looking for a job, possibly interviewing. This could also be the energy of you already are happy with a client, or possibly happy with where you're at in your finances, but it does feel like there's something that you're still working towards, and this patience and planning is going to come into play this month. And I do think that with all of these major arcanas, that Wheel of Fortune, the Hermit, and Judgment card, you all have something that you have been waiting on that is going to take a turn in a positive direction for you this month. So we start off April off the heels of Neptune entering into the sign of Aries. Remember, it has been in Pisces for the last 14 years, and it will be interesting to see how this plays out because many of us haven't haven't seen or remember what happened back in 2011 when it did move into Pisces, but you can look back and see what has happened up to now. And I do think for many of us, especially you all Libra, with this Wheel of Fortune, 8 of Pentacles, there's a job offer coming in here, or a twist of fate of something you have been working on for a long time gets an unexpected surprise. And I do think that Mercury turning direct in Pisces on April 7th could be when this momentum picks up for you. And I do think by the time we get to the Libra full moon on the 12th, this is your full moon, Libra. So this could be a really big time from 6 months ago that has been culminating and brewing under the surface. That Wheel of Fortune, 8 of Pentacles, something big possibly could come to light during this month for you. And if you don't see it, it just means to keep working at whatever you have been doing, or think about trying something new and possibly building up momentum in whatever it is. You're trying to find a new job, you're trying to work on a presentation, you're trying to get a raise. There's something here that you are working on, and it's going to pay off in spades, okay? So really nice to see that. I do think that is also that patience and planning. Just keep doing it, okay? Just keep being patient. I do think, though, as you come into the second or third week of the month, this is interesting here. Hermit card, Judgment, both major arcanas, and both of them dealing with taking time for yourself, but realizing when you're at the end of a journey, or when you are needing to retreat from the world in order to come to a conclusion of where you are at. And I do think that Venus turning direct in Pisces on the 12th, that same day as your Libra full moon, and then all planets direct April 14th through May 3rd, you will start seeing momentum week by week as Venus and Mercury start coming out of their retrogrades, information starts coming through. But I do think by time we get to Saturn conjunct the North Node in Pisces on the 14th and all those planets direct, you all are having conversations with yourself around what it is that you need to focus on. And I do think a lot of that is going to stem from that 8 of Swords, where you were feeling like, where do I go? What do I do next? I do think some of those questions will be answered once you take some time for yourself and retreat from the busy world. Now, by the time we get to third week of April, 4 of Cups, 5 of Pentacles, both in reverse, you all have a lot of reversals coming here. So I do think that you all are either being really impatient, or you're struggling with what do I do next? What do I do next? And Spirit is telling you here, no more stressing about where the money is coming from. No more stressing on what to do next. By the time we get to the 17th, when Mars enters Leo, this is going to be an uptick of your courage, of you feeling better, of you going out and doing more things, maybe applying for more jobs. There's something here where you're no longer worried about where the next thing is coming from. And I do think the Sun entering Taurus on the 19th is going to be very helpful for your money. The 20th, Sun in Taurus squares Mars in Leo, so just be careful of money tension, etc. around there. But I do think Mercury exiting its retrograde shadow on the 26th, that is going to be something that all of us see, this uptick of communication, not having to worry about things being hidden. When we were in Mercury retrograde, Venus retrograde, eclipse season, I do think things turn around after this. Now, I will say what I think is interesting. Remember that Ace of Pentacles came out, and we have this King of Swords and 3 of Swords both in reverse. Taurus new moon on the 27th. I do think that this Ace of Pentacles is pointing towards something coming through for you all, that you are planting new seeds of intention around what you want to make, where you want to work. Possibly you want to be in business for yourself. There's something here that Spirit is telling you, plant new seeds of intentions at that Taurus new moon on the 27th. And I do think that this is in the background. King of Swords, 3 of Swords. I do think that you all are no longer worrying about either a boss or someone who was not for your highest good back in March. And it does feel like whatever that 8 of Swords was from the past, you all are no longer worrying about you don't know where to go, or you didn't feel comfortable. I think this 3 of Swords and King of Swords is someone has some kind of hold over you all, and you are getting over it. You are you know what? I'm not going to pay attention to that person at my company who is trying to make me look bad, or you're feeling insecure around certain people. I think you are coming out of that with this Three of Swords in reverse. That King of Swords, though, I do think that there's someone who is like mentally kind of playing games with you or something. But you know what? You all have that Ace of Pentacles coming on through there. That definitely feels like something is going to be coming to you. In fact, you could be turning in your resignation to accept a new job offer by the time you get into May, Libra. So this is going to be a big month. You all have your full moon. It'll be interesting to see how this all culminates from 6 months ago. Okay, Libra. So take a look at your sun, moon, and rising signs in this video series. I hope you all have a great April, and I'll talk to you later.